What is up, everybody? Back again after a while. Sorry for the delay. There's been a lot going on. I've been launching startups and helping customers build epic solutions. So today's topic is about how to build virality into your product or build marketing into your product. We're going to be walking through 6 very crucial ways you can do this yourself that have helped ginormous companies become ginormous. And throughout this video, we'll be talking through all those 6 tips and 6 ways that they have done this and simple ways you can go ahead and do that to your startup as well if you haven't already, or if you're going to be building a startup soon. So this is worth considering, because building this into your engineering cycle at the very early stages will actually help build an infrastructure that is stable versus having a product that already exists and then dumping in ideas on top of that. So we'll start off with the 6 main ones that I think are easy to implement and will be valuable based on case studies. Obviously, some of these depend upon the type of product you're building and may not fit to your path, so feel free to ignore one of them, but most of them have a good value and good case studies for you to look into as well if you're building a startup. So first tip is actually distribution rewards. And what we mean by distribution rewards is actually enticing the customers that you get on board to distribute the product for you. Your customers are your best marketers. There is nothing better than a customer who champions your product, and everyone will agree to that. That's if a celebrity is carrying your product, you know that they will like your product, they represent your product, and vice versa, someone will be influenced to buy the product. It goes on influencer marketing, but principle is if a customer buys your product, they should be incentivized to go ahead and sell your product on your behalf. But not just sell it for the sake of selling it, but also due to the benefit that they get out of it. Now, there's one-way rewards and there's two-way rewards. One-way rewards is where you see sometimes people go ahead and set up a distribution cycle where only the person distributing gets some sort of a reward from the fact that they push the product out, but the person accepting it does not necessarily get any sort of reward. I've seen this a lot with food delivery startups or startups that are trying to give away meals and so on and so forth. A good example I can give you is Dropbox. I don't know if you were part of it, but I definitely fell victim to it back in the day when I started using Dropbox, which was if you refer a friend, not only do you get 500 megabytes for free, but also the person being referred to, the person who accepted, also gets 500 megabytes. So that two-way distribution cycle is very important, the reward system for both entities, because that will make sure you create a very synonymous, sorry for that, you might have heard a big noise, a very synonymous distribution cycle that just spreads like fire. If you have the option to offer that in your product with regards to credits, or if you have something in your solution that helps both parties gain a lot of advantage from distributing the solution, I would definitely encourage putting that into your engineering scope cycle and try build that out during the first phase of your product. Second one I want to talk to you is dopamine through Vanity. And what I mean by that is you would have seen this if anything within your product has to do with social media, aggregation, data, or user generated content, vanity metrics, you should go ahead and try display that. Whilst there's social case studies about whether that's good or bad, obviously this comes down to you and the way you want to drive it. But examples I can give you is obviously Twitter and YouTube. YouTube is famous. You would have definitely seen the PewDiePie and T-Series war that went on over there, where people were constantly battling to see who got more subscribers, and each person was trying to battle and get more people on board by sort of leaving it upon the onus of your audience, who are your user-generated content creators, to go ahead and distribute the product by providing them with a platform to build that vanity metric. It really helps scale and grow your product. Another example I can give you is TikTok. TikTok right now, if you haven't seen it, you probably have. It is built for the creator. So it's anyone who's creating content right now is aggregating tremendous amount of views, and that goes ahead and encourages the creator to go ahead and distribute it to their network. Another example I can give you is LinkedIn. LinkedIn about 2 years ago started showing the number of views each person got within a post. Magic fact, it's not unique views. It's basically whenever someone scrolls through a post, each time they scroll through it, that considers itself as a view. So, but the fact that they use that concept of just scroll through as views, not just listening, actually watching or reading a post as a view, increased the level of traction or perceived traction each post got, and that made people go crazy. Their engagement shot up. LinkedIn basically came out of like zombie mode, and it became this massive platform right now that everyone is creating and distributing content on and gaining followers through. So yes, if you do have option or probability of creating distribution through Vanity, I would encourage you to build that into your product, because that definitely helps with growth. Another option you can definitely consider is partnership participation, and that means products that are inherently built for the concept of network effects, as it is called. And what I mean by that is, as more people join the platform, the more useful it begins. But so that can be with a chat system like a Slack. It can be with the ability of, when Google created Google Docs, it did not just create the option of, hey, here's a document, but they created this option where you can go ahead and share it. And the more people you share it with, the more people they get on board to the platform, and then you can have more people collaborate. So it's very sneaky. While you thought it was just, oh, this is great real-time communication and collaboration, they've actually created a user base of audiences within their platform. So that's something to consideration. Slack, Tandem.chat, all these applications where you join a network, but it is alone, and the utility of it only builds as you add more users. If your product is in a similar phase, making it extremely easy for people to invite external parties to join your product is vital and very important to help with your growth. So create that invite system, create an easy to use invite system where people can not only share invites easily, but also accept invites and join and have their profiles created if possible. Sweet. And we're on to the fourth factor. The fourth point that you can actually use to increase virality or growth within your product is simply a UX optimization called remove resistance. That's what I refer to it. Remove resistance is basically the principle where you can remove any concept or principle of resistance when you are trying to create a sense of virality. And an example I can use that I feel is fantastic is WhatsApp. I'm pretty sure almost everyone in this world knows WhatsApp is and what WhatsApp do. They are a chat application that control almost a significant percentage of the internet at some point in time. If you've signed on to WhatsApp, you would have actually realized that you never actually had to invite someone to join WhatsApp, because your pre-existing contact list actually became your WhatsApp contact list. So what they did was they completely obliterated the concept of onboarding by creating a username, password, any of that shit. They knew phone numbers were unique, and they used phone numbers as a unique identifier. So whenever you had a phone number and someone else had the same phone number registered on their site, that automatically made that person exist as a contact within your network. So they removed any principle of creating a invite list or getting more people to come onto the platform. They use existing assets, and this is something that's very important. Use existing assets and investments that the customer has already made to help them grow really quickly with respect to your product, right? So WhatsApp went ahead and used the existing contact list that I have already invested my time into, and WhatsApp didn't make me say, all right, go invite all your friends using their email addresses or this fancy code. No, it said, cool, you spent all this time having all these phone numbers of mates and friends that you've collected over the past 10, 15 years. Don't worry about it. We're not going to ask you to do it again. Here it is, good to go, and happy days. So that's something you need to consider is, investment reward is make sure that when the customer is being onboarded, you can use as much of their pre-existing data that already exists to help you propagate your position to make their lives better, right? And WhatsApp is a great example. Moving on to the next point. The next point I want to talk about distribution resistance. So we spoke about removing resistance, which is more so on onboarding resistance, where you prevent that from happening. But distribution resistance is just as important. And no, this sort of falls under the same principle of the first part, which is make distribution easy. But what I mean more so by the fact is almost everyone nowadays wants to have an app. Customers want to build apps because apps have good retention because you can download it on the home screen. But one thing you need to realize is the drop-off rate for actually getting someone to download an application, install it, and sign up is ridiculously high. And what I mean by that is, imagine a situation where you've seen an ad for an application that sounds really cool. There's a significant drop-off from you actually clicking into the ad, going to the website telling you to download the application, you going to the app store, then clicking install, from install, then going ahead and actually putting in information. That's a lot of steps for you to perform to just go into the application. So I want to use TikTok again as a fantastic example, and another app that we're building right now called PodUnion. And what TikTok actually does is when you share it, it does not give you a link to the app. So when you share to Facebook Message, it does not do that. What TikTok have done is they've done this beautiful concept where they've created this demi browser version of TikTok where you can go ahead and share it. And when you share it, the customer who's viewing it on the other side, who's not sort of constrained to download the application, the potential customer you have, it has a hassle-free sign-up process, or they don't need to commit to anything because they get to see the web version of it. So they're not committing to signing up to the product and getting a teaser of what the product actually is before they go ahead and sign up. And by reducing distribution resistance, a simple way, you're increasing the concept of virality, because now you're allowing not only distribution to happen easily on the side of the the user generated content creator, but also the person absorbing the data is they don't need to perform an X amount of actions. It's pretty much just palpably accessible for them to do it. So that's something to consider if you're building your product that has some sort of shareability or distribution. You want to make it extremely easy for people to distribute your product wherever possible, but not only distribute, but easily absorb it as well. So keep that in mind. All right, so moving on to the next point, and that point is, I call it I came from here. What I mean by this point is more so around stamping where distribution happens. Again, see a lot of this around distribution and marketing, and you need to make sure that your engineering is equipped for this. Hotmail are the most notorious for doing this. They created, when they started Hotmail ages ago, they signed send from Hotmail at the bottom of every email, and this automatically just created a tumbling effect, an almost avalanche effect of customers just pouring into the platform because they're just curious. Another very cool company doing this recently is Superhuman. Every single time an email is sent from Superhuman, it's set at the bottom. And unlike most cases, people are actually proud to keep Superhuman at the bottom, because it's like an exclusive group right now that Superhuman has. I don't know which year you're watching this, but if you're watching in 2020, Superhuman is still very exclusive. So Superhuman tagged that at the bottom and makes everyone almost get excited. I know personally, when I saw someone send me an email from Superhuman, I was like, whoa, you're like in this breed of cool people who are paying for email and getting access to all this fancy tactics that you can use within Superhuman itself. So that's something to consider. Another thing is also with respect to distribution. If you've ever noticed, when Twitter launched on iPhone, or when iPhone had Twitter added, you would have the little thing at the bottom saying, sent via iPhone and sent via Samsung. So that is another distribution tactic where people have actually used their own engineering principles to talk to people about, hey, look, since you're already generating content and spreading it on my behalf, I might as well add to the fact that you're sending it using my service. And that increasingly grows the So imagine as an influencer, you see that, one of your favorite influencers has sent from iPhone, you are more likely to be inclined to then buy an iPhone. So that's another way of distributing your content and creating virality within your product. And the last one I want to talk to you about is called Stamp That Photo. And what I mean by Stamp That Photo is, this is very popular amongst, again, UCG or content that is created within the product that makes the customer feel proud. It can be a video, it can be something like Canva, it can be an Instagram scheduling tool. And I'm going to use an example of Plan That, which is an app by one of my friends, Christy Lawrence. Check them out if you want. And what Plan That actually does is, just lets you schedule your Instagram feed for the next X amount of days. And one of the hacks that she actually put into place was she put in the logo of Plan right before when people had to take a screenshot. And it's simple. Basically what she did was she watermarked her product. So then she would have all these people, influencers and normal people, normal people are influencers, go ahead and actually share their plan on like groups and Facebook groups asking for advice. And then what would happen is when these people are sharing their plans, automatically Plan, the app, is also being advertised. So whenever you got user generated content, something as simple as that, which goes ahead and watermarks your product if it's being shared, would be very valuable for you to help you with your acquisition strategy. Well, there you go. Hopefully that helped. Those are 6 points we actually covered that actually go ahead and help you integrate marketing into your application. If you got any questions, which you might, please leave them in the comments below. And like it goes, this is going to be super valuable content for someone who might have missed this. So to help me out, more so than that, to help YouTube's algorithm out so that it can go ahead and distribute this to other people, smash that like button, write a comment below, because it will not only help other people, it also helps spread the video. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you very, very, very soon.